Picture this. In an era where a single tweet can ignite a global conversation, social media might just be the spark behind a surge in political violence. It's a chilling thought that has experts and politicians alike sounding the alarm. But here's where it gets controversial. Is it the villain in this story, or merely an amplifier of deeper societal issues? Let's dive in and unpack this together, step by step. So even if you're new to these debates, you'll grasp the full picture. Just days after the tragic shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, Utah Governor Spencer Cox didn't hold back. He publicly named the suspect and blasted social media as a destructive force. Social media is a cancer on our society right now, Cox declared in a press conference, urging folks to log off, turn off, touch grass. A casual way of saying get back to real-life interactions. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, a Republican, chimed in soon after, pointing out how platforms reward the angriest voices. Social media is always pushing who's the angriest, who's the loudest, who says the craziest thing. That's what gets repeated over and over and over again, he explained on CBS's Face the Nation. And Colorado Democrat Representative Joe Neguse called it deeply corrosive, highlighting how it erodes healthy discourse. Experts chatting with ABC News agreed that social media ramps up public anger and spreads shocking visuals, but they were careful not to pin it as the only culprit behind political violence. Instead, they see it as one piece of a larger puzzle, including societal divisions, heated talk from influential people, and easy access to guns. Social media is certainly a contributing factor. But it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. It's not the fire itself, said Robert Pape, a political scientist heading the Chicago Project on Security and Threats at the University of Chicago. For beginners, think of it this way. Social media doesn't start the blaze of conflict, but it can make it spread faster and farther. The incident unfolded on September 10, when Kirk was gunned down on stage at Utah Valley University during a campus speaking tour. The alleged shooter, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was nabbed nearly 2 days later and charged with aggravated murder. What caught attention was Robinson's activity on Discord, an online platform popular for chatting and gaming, and his video game habits. While specifics on how these influenced him are still emerging, it raises questions about virtual communities fueling real-world actions. Just hours before his arrest, Robinson posted on Discord to a small group of friends. "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." FBI Director Kash Patel brought this up in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, revealing the Bureau is probing anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat with Robinson. He noted there are a lot more than 20 people connected, and they're tracking them all down. Discord itself responded to ABC News, stating they found no proof Robinson planned or promoted violence there. "We continue to work closely with the FBI and local authorities, and will continue to deliver prompt responses to their requests for assistance," they added. The platform bans hateful conduct or the use of hate speech, defining it as anything that degrades, vilifies, or dehumanizes people, stirs up hostility, or encourages harm based on protected traits like race or religion. Other big players in social media weighed in too. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, told NYU researchers last year that they aim for safe spaces by removing hate speech, bullying, and harassment, investing in tech to spot and stop it. TikTok's Lisa Hayes, head of safety policy, said they remove over 98% of content from hateful groups and collaborate with experts to stay ahead of trends. X, formerly Twitter, didn't reply to ABC News, but their site commits to fighting abuse driven by hatred or prejudice, especially against marginalized voices. And this is the part most people miss: the viral spread of graphic footage. Videos of Kurt's shooting flooded social media right after, sparking worries about how seeing such content repeatedly might desensitize or inspire others. Experts warn that algorithms, those behind-the-scenes formulas that decide what you see, prioritize sensational posts to keep users scrolling, deepening political divides. Plus, for some, social media replaces face-to-face connections, leading to isolation. We are at a very dangerous moment with social media, especially having a large population of highly alienated individuals spending most, if not all of their time in this virtual space, warned Walter Scherer, an engineering professor at Notre Dame University, who researches online misinformation. PAPE's surveys, done with NORC, show that heavy social media users, say 6 to 8 hours daily, are more prone to backing political violence, though they represent just a small slice, maybe 10% of those with such views. NYU and Public Circle Research analyzed 400 studies and concluded social media is exploited to facilitate political intimidation and violence, but not as the sole driver. They point to other elements like biased cable news and people already inclined toward aggression. Experts also spotlighted broader causes, such as inflammatory language from leaders and gun availability. Social media allows for the amplification of a message that's already happening. If we look at the rhetoric in the US over time, the language politicians are using to describe their domestic political opponents has gotten much harsher and more aggressive. Social media isn't the cause of that, but it can amplify those voices, explained Thomas Seitzoff, a professor at American University. To illustrate, think of how a megaphone boosts a speaker's voice. It doesn't create the words, but makes them louder. Some even reference past eras, like the assassinations in the late 1960s, which happened before the internet, showing violence isn't new. Columbia University professor Robert Shapiro questioned if ditching social media would really curb it. There's more than enough political conflict out there to provoke violence, he said. This sparks debate. Is social media just a modern tool for age-old tensions, or does it uniquely worsen them? Kirk's death fits into a troubling pattern. Recently, a shooter unleashed over 180 rounds at the CDC headquarters. A Minnesota Democratic lawmaker and her spouse were murdered at home, and another state lawmaker and his wife were injured by the same attacker. 2 Israeli embassy staff in D.C. were killed after a museum event. And during the 2024 presidential race, former candidate Trump dodged 2 assassination attempts. This is something we're not used to seeing in our country, Pape noted. It hasn't been our normal, but it's our new normal now. So where do you stand? Do you believe social media is the primary fuel for political violence, or is it more of a symptom of larger problems like divisive rhetoric and easy gun access? Could banning certain platforms solve this, or would it just drive extremism underground? And here's a controversial twist. What if social media actually helps expose and unite against violence in some cases? Share your opinions in the comments. I'd love to hear your take and discuss. ABC News' Megan Forrester contributed to this piece.